Today we're going to try Bloom, but I'm going to try some different mediums in it. I'm going to try these. This is a pearlescent liquid acrylic. I've tried these before in different types of flowers. And I'm also going to try this one, which is an acrylic ink. So normally the Bloom is done with alcohol inks. And this may not turn out, but I thought it'd be worth a try. So I've poured my clear or decanted my clear. Now I've let it get up to temperature. Right now it's about 36 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to divide it amongst these two coasters and I'm going to save some for my white. And these coasters I just got from Temu. They came in a package of 4, 2 of the larger shape and 2 of the smaller shape. I should have made a little bit more, should have poured a little bit more resin, but that's okay. We'll make this work. Actually, it might be okay because you don't need a whole lot of white. So I'm just going to bring up any bubbles that may be sticking to the bottom. And as you can see, there are some. And then we'll get the lighter out and get rid of those. I've ordered a new resin. It's like a 3-in-1 resin that I'm going to see if I can get it to work with the fairy flower. Okay, so let's just get the lighter and get rid of some of these bubbles. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to treat this as we would the alcohol ink. So for this one, I think I'll do my pink in the middle and then have the other colors on the outside. So let's see how this works. Now I know this is a larger dropper than what you would find for the alcohol inks. So let's just try. What I'm hoping for is that they'll spread. They may not spread as much as an alcohol ink, but let's see what we get. Definitely not spreading that much. So let's put the green around that. And then I'm going to put the dark blue around the outside. Okay. Now, these are definitely not spreading. Normally, you would mix these in with your inks. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give this a spritz with the alcohol ink and see what that does. Well, that's interesting. It's definitely causing it to spread, but it's also kind of splitting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more. Come in here. Add more, a little more of that darker blue. And I'm going to add a little more of the pink. I'm not sure if this will sink down. We'll see. So let's go with that. Okay, so let's go over to this one. We're going to do the same with this acrylic ink. So I'm going to give it a good shake, and I'm going to put the yellow in the middle. Drop that escaped over to the side. Well, let me just move this, guys, so that you don't get the glare. And let's go around that with the magenta. So again, these don't seem to be spreading. And that may be normal. Well, I guess it is normal. Um, but I just want to see what kind of effects we can get using something other than alcohol inks. All right, and let's go around that with the darker blue. Okay. These last two were kind of bubbly. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. There we go. All right, and I'm actually going to go around the outside with the yellow again, out here. These don't turn out, that's okay. And actually, I was going to go with yellow there, but I don't think I will. Now, what I'm wondering is if I should spritz this with the alcohol. I'm going to go ahead and do that, just to see the reaction we get. So you can see it's kind of mixing there. Interesting. Interesting how this one actually stayed looking like a flower. Okay, so now we're going to do our white. So I'm going to use my Cast and Craft. And I'm going to add, let's start with 2 drops into the white, and then I'll add more if I need it. So I'm going to start with 2 and see what we get. Just giving this a mix. Boy, you can tell fall is coming for us. It's gotten much cooler. Okay, so you can see the consistency. I'm going to actually add 1 more drop of white because I want it to kind of sink down these colors. So I'm going to add 1 more drop. Our leaves are starting to change colors here. And it's definitely getting cooler in the evenings. Okay, so there's our consistency. I'm actually going to use a piping bag today, so I have one ready to go. So I'm just going to transfer that into the piping bag. And then we'll get this started. All right, I got my white into my piping bag, and I'm just going to snip off the tip of the bag. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and add our white to the coasters. It's dripping out on me. Okay, I'm going to cut that hole a little big. All right, so we're just going to do the method of doing the, sorry guys, I definitely did this a little bit too. Okay, let's go around. I was going to do the method of doing dashes, but I think I have this a little bit too. Might have made my hole a little bit too big to do that. Okay, so we'll just do the traditional method of, I'm just going to add a little more to this one. Bring it out to the edges. There we go. Okay, so that's our white. Next, I'm going to take my stick and draw through them. So I'm going to go from the center out to start with. And I am going to wipe my stick. Okay, and then I'm going to come in. Now these colors here are strong, as you can see. Now I'm not going to swirl my center yet. I'm going to wait till this thickens up a bit before I do that. Okay, so definitely strong colors here. You can see that these aren't near as strong. So let's go out. Oh, that's interesting how that kind of, see how that, it's kind of like a weird film at the top of the resin. Well, that's not, that is odd. I don't think this one's going to turn out at all. Okay, well that's good to know about this one. And yeah. Okay, so that's definitely not mixing in at all with the resin. This is sticking right on the top. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead with it anyways. Pull my inks. Might as well finish it. It's hard for me to see though. Whoa, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, did I pull here? I don't think so. All right, then I'm going to take, I'm actually going to take my torch. Well, maybe I shouldn't, because of the way that sits on top. I don't think it's going to take kindly to heat. Okay. Really don't think this one's going to turn out, but I'm going to see about this one here. Let's get those bubbles out. Not really liking how that's sitting on top. I'm not sure if it's going to actually dry. I was hoping it would mix in, but maybe you really do just need the alcohol inks to do that. Okay. And I'm going to spritz this again. I wonder if it's the alcohol ink that caused that to do that. I'm not sure. I'm going to spritz more anyways. Okay, guys. I'm probably going to come back in. I'm not going to swirl the center of that one. It's just not going to work out. I'll probably come back in about half an hour to try to swirl the center of this one to see, to get the bloom going in the middle there. So, all right, we'll see you when they're dry. All right, our coasters are dry. So what we were looking to do is see if we could use something other than alcohol inks to do a bloom. So I used in this one this one here was using a liquid acrylic, and this one is using the acrylic inks. So let's take a look at this one first to see what we have. So not pretty on this side, that's for sure. It is dry. I wasn't sure if how well this would dry. It's not smooth though. So if it did turn out, I'd probably put a back coat on it, but I'm not going to put a back coat on it unless it looks okay. So let's take a look at this one. and see what we got. Okay, let me just grab a colored piece of cardstock so you guys can see this. Okay, so first impressions are there's a lot of white, so I probably should have put a little bit less white in it. If I had put less white, actually, it probably wouldn't have looked too bad. It's not a traditional bloom, but it's not that bad. I'm looking at. It actually has more depth than you'd probably see in a bloom, probably because that white came through. It did. You can see you can see the blooms here in the petals that it did bloom. And I was going to come back after they sat for a bit and do the center. I totally forgot about it, and by the time I remembered, it was too late. So I wasn't able to do that. So I wouldn't say this was 100% a success, and I don't know that I would use this acrylic ink again, but if you played with it, you probably could have success with this. Less white in the middle. Try to get this effect a bit more. Those actually came out nice. So, okay, let's take a look at the other one. Now this one is the pearlescent liquid acrylics. I've used these before. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, so my pink did blob down in this, and there's a couple of blue. So this one these must be heavier because they kind of came down, blobbed in it. Didn't really bloom. I wouldn't call that a bloom. It does have a lot of depth to it, which I don't think the camera picks up very well, but there's definitely a 3D effect to this one. So this one definitely I would not, I don't even know if playing with this would make much of a difference, because the colors, you can see they tried a little bit, but that white and the colors just are not mixing up that to give you that bloom. Now, you could probably play with it at having your resin at a different temperature when you start. I did wait till mine was up to temp at 35 degrees Celsius. So it was a little bit thicker. If it was thinner, then these would sink even more than what they did. All right, so if I were to say, is it possible to use something other than alcohol inks, just trying out these two, I would say no to this one. I probably wouldn't experiment anymore with this one. I do see some possibilities with the acrylic inks, though. I think with some playing around with it, you could get a pretty bloom, because I do like the way you can see, and you don't normally see this with the traditional blooms, where you can see in those petals a little more definition. It would just be a matter of taking a look at the white in the middle. All right, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.